Since 2019, Nicola Peltz Beckham and her husband Brooklyn Beckham have been, as she once put it, inseparable. And that closeness is on full display now, as the couple publicly stands united amid an apparent rift with Brooklyn's parents, David and Victoria Beckham.
Like, it's really rough.
So who exactly is Nicola Peltz Beckham, the woman firmly on Brooklyn's side, and the one many now blame for the Beckham family fallout? Let's take a closer look. Nicola, now 31, grew up in New York as one of billionaire businessman Nelson Peltz's 10 children. Yes, 10.
I love big families. I love being around my family and all my siblings.
Her father is the founder of investment firm Trian Fund Management, and according to Forbes, has a net worth estimated at around $1.6 billion. Trian manages billions in assets, and over the years, Nelson Peltz has also been known for financially supporting conservative political causes, a detail that often comes up when people talk about Nicola's background. Nelson had 2 children with his first wife, Cynthia Abrams, before marrying model Claudia Hefner in 1985. Nicola was born in 1995 and raised in Westchester County, New York, surrounded by siblings, privilege, and opportunity, something she's never really denied. In fact, she's been pretty open about loving her big family, once calling it her happy place.
My most prized possession is definitely my family.
As she grew older, Nicola followed her passion for acting.
Did you love acting? That's been my love forever.
She began her career in 2006 with a role in the holiday film Deck the Halls, and her resume soon expanded to include Bates Motel, The Last Airbender, Transformers, Age of Extinction, and the Netflix rom-com Holidate. In 2014 alone, she received a Teen Choice Award nomination, a Young Hollywood Award nomination, and won a CinemaCon Rising Star Award. That said, her early career wasn't without criticism. Nicola received 2 Razzie Award nominations for Worst Supporting Actress, first in 2011 for The Last Airbender, and again in 2015 for Transformers, Age of Extinction. In any case, her acting was definitely recognized, just not in the way most actors dream of.
You have to be prepared. We were not prepared.
More recently, she stepped behind the camera. In 2024, Nicola released Lola, a film she wrote, directed, and starred in. Nicola said she had written the script at just 23, practically nonstop, fueled by emotion and a desire to explore flawed characters.
It happened naturally, and I wrote it in chronological order. I never knew the ending. I never knew how these characters were going to end up being like. It was kind of just a writing journey in the moment, and it just formed into the story that it is now. Yeah.
The film follows a teenage girl trying to escape a toxic home life, a story far removed from Nicola's own upbringing, something critics were quick to point out. Some reviews were harsh, calling the project self-indulgent, but Nicola didn't shy away from the criticism. She openly acknowledged her background and explained that the story was never meant to reflect her own life. I wanted to write a story from a person's perspective, and another point of view that was not my personal view and not my upbringing. I am an actress, and my dream is to get to look at the world from different perspectives, she said.
A lot of the characters in the film are based off people in my life. Like, the little brother in it is based off my godson, and Babina, the best friend character, is based off my best friend, Angela.
Family, clearly, remains central to her identity. Her brother Will Peltz is also an actor, and the siblings even have matching Yiddish tattoos honoring their Eastern European Jewish roots. Nicola says family first, while Will simply reads family. And she shows how important family is to her by standing firmly by her husband Brooklyn Beckham's side.
I see myself being a mom in 5 years. Brooklyn wants a lot of kids.
The two first met at Coachella in 2017, though, as Nicola admits, sparks didn't fly right away. We didn't get along, we just didn't click. The two of them also had different partners at the time. However, the young stars did keep in touch. It wasn't until Leonardo DiCaprio hosted a Halloween party 2 years later that Brooklyn and Nicola first became involved. The celebs left the party together and were photographed having a late-night dinner. Dating rumors regarding the couple soon began. Beckham would confirm them 1 year later when he celebrated their 1-year anniversary on October 29, 2020. The lovebirds continued going strong, So much so that they decided to share their romance with the world. In January 2020, the stars made their relationship Instagram official. Nicola shared a mirror selfie on the social network, while Brooklyn posted a series of casual pics. Nicola and Brooklyn were so sure about their romance that they decided to take the next step only 6 months into dating. In July 2020, the couple got engaged. 2 weeks later, the photographer shared the news with his Instagram followers, saying, "I am the luckiest man in the world. I promise to be the best husband and the best daddy one day." Peltz shared the same photo. In the caption, she said, "You've made me the luckiest girl in the world." It's clear that Nicola and Brooklyn like taking part in romantic gestures that remind them of each other. For that reason, Peltz got a tattoo on her back that said, "Brooklyn." The young Beckham also has tattoos related to the relationship. Some of them are a drawing of Nicola's eyes, her grandmother's name, and her portrait on his upper arm. Brooklyn has explained why he has gotten so many tattoos in Nicola's honor, saying, "When you love someone, you just want to cover everything." Before their nuptials, the young stars signed what has been described as the mother and father of all prenups. The legal agreement wasn't just drawn to protect the Beckhams' $498 million, but also Nicola's father, who allegedly has a net worth of $1.7 billion. Brooklyn was reportedly very happy because he's had experiences of girls desperate to get in on the Beckham name. The star was said to be delighted that Nicola loved him for him. The lovebirds finally tied the knot on April 9, 2022. The wedding was a traditional Jewish ceremony with an alleged cost of $3 million. It included a chuppah decorated with orchids and an elevated runway with water and flowers on each side. On the surface, it looked like a fairy tale wedding, but behind the scenes, that day may have marked the beginning of a rapid decline in the relationship between the newlyweds and their in-laws, and many say the drama all started with the wedding dress. Brooklyn alleges that Victoria Beckham was supposed to design Nicola's wedding dress, only to cancel at the last minute, leaving Nicola scrambling to find something else. But publicly available details tell a different story. Nicola ultimately wore custom Valentino haute couture in April 2022, and according to Vogue, the gown took more than a year to create, with multiple fittings and trips to Rome. Her stylist even called it the ultimate couture experience. That timeline doesn't quite line up with Brooklyn's version, and that contradiction has people asking, who's telling the truth here? But the wedding drama doesn't stop there. Brooklyn also claims that weeks before the ceremony, his parents pressured him to sign away the rights to his name, something he says would have affected not just him, but Nicola and their future children. They were adamant on me signing before my wedding date because then the terms of the deal would be initiated. My holdout affected the payday, and they have never treated me the same since, Brooklyn wrote. Then there are the moments he says happened behind the scenes. Brooklyn alleges that the night before the wedding, members of his family said Nicola was not blood and not family. He also claims that once he started standing up for himself, attacks followed, privately and publicly, including alleged social media pressure from his brothers before communication suddenly stopped altogether. And then there's the incident that shocked a lot of people reading his post. Brooklyn claims that during what was supposed to be his first dance with Nicola, the moment was taken over. According to him, Mark Anthony called him to the stage, where his mother was waiting instead, and the planned romantic dance turned into something entirely different. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone, Brooklyn wrote. He added that he had never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in his entire life. He says those experiences were painful enough that he and Nicola later chose to renew their vows, simply to create memories that felt joyful rather than stressful. So what do you make of all of this drama? Which side are you leaning toward? And do you think reconciliation is still possible or has too much happened?